Alright, so here's another UVW Unwrap video. So, here's something a little more complex. We've got our friend, the screwdriver. So, we've got the fully smoothed version and the low poly version. So, I'm going to go ahead and grab these two and I'm going to select inverse and delete all the other ones. So I'm going to move these next to each other just for fun. Alright, I'm going to turn off the film gate so we can have a little more room. Now, unwrapping this one and unwrapping this one are essentially the same thing. So, um, and if you unwrap this one first before smoothing it, sometimes you can get fairly decent results. But if you look at this, this is just a basic cylindrical object. It has a couple extrudes and some different um, cuts and welds, but it's essentially a basic cylindrical object. So if we follow the theory from the last video of just cut the top off, cut the bottom off, and have a nice day, and follow the edge loops, we should be good. Now, some of this, it looks like it might be kind of complicated to find the edge loops, but because we laid it out correctly here, it should be good over here. So I'm going to unwrap the fully smoothed one. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete the low poly and focus on this puppy. So we can start with the tip here. Go to UV. I just ripped off the tab. Okay, so we can go to the UV editor, select that. Now here we have an example of a mess. This is not good. So I'm going to select these UV shells and I'm going to go camera based because I usually like to start with camera based. So we have an open edge on the bottom, which kind of helps. Then we just need to cut off the top. So I'm going to get fairly close to the top and select an edge loop and cut that. And then if I select an edge here, it'll stop at the end of the other one. Now we should have this as a UV shell and that as a UV shell. So if I move that over and I hit unfold, oh, look at that. Pretty daggone good. And we're not putting any graphics or anything on the side, so it does not have to be like laid out perfectly straight. Like this is unfolded nicely. It's just like if we look here, there's no UV stretching. So that's what we're going for, is no UV stretching. Stretching is bad. So we're going to move that over. Now this one, if we hit unfold, that actually works out pretty well. So yeah, depending on what you're doing, which more than likely you're just going to lay a metal on top of this, that should be perfectly fine. So I'm going to go ahead and grab those, hit layout, and then I'm going to move these out of the way because the next thing I'm going to do is actually go to object mode and unwrap this one, and then I'm going to combine the two together so I can texture them all as one piece. So we're going to go UV shell. This is basically a standard unwrap, which we really don't want. So I'm going to go camera based again just to get rid of that. Now, this little detail up on top is not super deep, so I should be able to separate this top and bottom all into their own separate little shells. And I'm going to grab an edge loop around the top there, hit cut, and then I'm going to do the same thing around the bottom. So UV unwrapping is basically like cutting up a puzzle. Figure out how you want to do it and then go for it. So in this case, I want as few seams as I can get. So I'm going to try to hide the seam a little bit where there will probably end up being a shadow on one of these grooves. So if I zoom in, so I can select that same edge loop, and that's going all the way around. So that's going to be a problem. So I might have to grab something like right there. And that's actually going all the way around. Yep. Okay. So we're going to have to do a little more separating before that can be kind of what we want. So I'm going to grab that edge loop there, cut that one off, and go around there, cut that one off, and now if I find that edge and select that edge loop, it should go from, well, and it's not. Okay, there we go. Just need to go one more. That should, there we go. Select another edge loop. Oops, see, I selected it in the 2D view instead of the 3D view, or 3D view instead of the 2D view, so I actually want, nope, missed it again. Just deselect that one. Let's see what, oops. Okay, so it's this one. There we go. Now if I hit cut, so now I'm going to start unfolding this to see what I got. So we'll do that, we'll hit layout. So what we have is this side piece, oops, which I don't really like the way that's laying out. So we could grab maybe that edge, hit cut, go to the shell, unfold that one. I like that one much better. Much straighter. So that works. This big boy is going to have to do the same thing basically. So if I grab that edge and hit cut, then go to shell and unfold. Oh, look at that. Super nice. And these are good. That one's good. This is the central piece. So, yeah, that's actually really good too. So, if we select all those, hit layout, let that group together, and then if we look at that checkerboard, we can see nice even checkers. There's no stretching. Looks good. So that's the goal. So now I could put little graphics on the side, like, you know, the company name or whatever on the handle of the screwdriver. So I'm going to go to object mode. I'm going to grab that one. I'm going to hit shift, grab that one. And I've got these pieces separated, so that is a good thing. And then we'll hit combine. That will combine them together. Now they're already laid out. So, well, already unfolded. Do not hit unfold again. Just hit layout. That'll scale those pieces appropriate to each other. Now, what I would do is make sure that this and this are placed together so that way you know what the tip of the screwdriver is and what the handle pieces are. And we will reorganize this, move this one down here maybe. Put that one there. Put that there. Sometimes when doing UVW unwraps, you still have to do a little bit of manual moving and placing and all that fun stuff. So, okay, so that is not going to fit because okay, so since that's not going to fit where we want it, we'll move that there and then rotate this back the other way again, or we could rotate it this way. See how that works. Move that. Yep, there we go. Just make sure you don't hit layout again because it'll rescale everything and move everything again. So that works pretty good. So we got the top and the bottom of the handle. So, and there's the centerpiece. There's the piece that's in between the centerpiece and the top. And you could reorganize these even more so it makes more sense. You could move that there. You got the top here. And then you got the centerpiece. Oops. This piece. And then the centerpiece. And then that neck piece there. And then this. And then put the bottom in here somewhere. So if we move that up, move these up, move that up, that up and over a little bit, move those up just a smidge. And the bottom still doesn't fit. Okay, so this is where you kind of gotta think like puzzles. So we could move this down, spread that one down a little bit, and then move that one there. So now that's the top, that's the bottom, because we don't have room at the bottom for it to make sense. So either way, that's a nice, efficient UV layout. Everything's flat, everything looks good. And yeah, so I will probably do one or two more UV Unwrap videos just so you guys can get a little better handle on it. Haha, handle, screwdriver handle. Anyway, so that's it.